Bartail has been one of the persons who's watched all the shows. I talk to him on a regular basis in the EverQuest Next IRC channel.
What we saw with, Kunark for EQ2, you did those 400 quests, you did all the content, and at the end of it, the world wasn't changed.
Yeah, I'm Phantom X. I do social media and write articles for EQ Nexus.
For the Fall of Bastion, it was a very definite, okay, this is where your story is going to fit into the world.
Listen, fluffy looking bear, thank you. Listen, I went and I killed a dragon, and then 2 drops of whiskey hit my face, and I willed this manly beard into... Cow was raising, yes!
And welcome to the EverCast show, everybody.
We're back.
We are back for our 12th episode. This one is Alpha is Soon, TM.
It's a trademark. Welcome. I'm glad to be back. So much to talk about tonight.
There was a lot. Hi, everybody.
Hi guys.
And Flatus is drinking his dwarven ale over there.
Actually,
Why
yeah,
don't
it is
you point that out in the
called...
picture?
It's actually dwarven ale. It's actually really good. Where's everybody else at?
I have water. And more water.
That too.
I'm cleansing a little bit from the other night.
My name tag is taking off the whole Seahawk jersey. All right, Andrew, this one's for you, though.
You guys are ridiculous. Oh, speaking of Andoran, huge thanks to Andoran for our brand new intro track. And my phone goes off. Custom made, and Andoran hooked us up with that. And as you can see with our new intro, we're going to be using it a lot more often. So huge thanks to him. Let us know what you think about it.
Yeah. So, I think that's the proper introductions. Anybody else want to say hi to the community?
Hey.
Hi, community.
Yeah.
All right. I will.
That sounded so wrong, Tim.
Well, we'll take it away with the ECAST news, Sir Tamlin.
Taking it away with the ECAST news. The only thing we have on this episode for the EverCast news is that if you've been following us along on Twitter, I tweeted out that we have a blog which we will be uploading audio stream, video stream, and download links to the MP3 versions of our show. And with that, we're working with Stitcher currently on getting that MP3 encapsulated, and in the near future, it will be available in iPad, or not iPad, in
iTunes.
A iTunes format, podcast format. So
It'll be appletized.
Yeah, people have been asking for this. It's in the works. I got the last email on Friday, and I couldn't get it done before the close of business. Otherwise, it would have been up this weekend. But Monday or Tuesday, we should have it in the stream the way it's supposed to be. And once we get this episode, or once we get our past episodes, I'll start adding in more.
Yeah, we sort of slacked off. Like, from the beginning, we were like, yeah, we're going to have an audio version every week. And then it took us a while to get started, then we only needed like 1 or 2 weeks. But now going forward, thanks to Tamlin and his hard work, we should be all set for a podcast version of the show, which is fantastic, because I know a couple people have, they can't really make it, and they don't like watching YouTube all the time, so now they have an easy option to catch it up. So
that
awesome.
means everyone out there that's listening via podcast and audio form, please like, share, do all the things on iTunes and all the things on Stitcher. That helps us out, and other people see that. When you thumbs up on Stitcher, people will see that. When you give us good ratings on iTunes, people will see that, and our show will grow, and more people will show up, and
What?
Yeah, most definitely.
Help us.
Please, we encourage you to pirate us.
Yeah, and right.
Yarr.
Then the other thing is that we are always soliciting feedback. If you have any feedback about the show, you want to reach out and touch us. If you want to reach out and get a hold of us, our email is evercast.show@gmail.com. The good feedback, bad feedback, we want to hear it all. No one ever gets better hearing how great they are. I think that wraps.
Or how terrible we are.
Well, no, because if they point.
Out.
If they point out how terrible we are, then we have areas that now we know, hey, we can improve on this, and that's exactly what the how the whole podcast thing came up around, like getting it on Stitchers, because people were asking for it, and if people are asking for it, we're going to be like, oh, hey, these are people asking for something, so we made that happen.
Yeah, definitely, you have a great point. Also, Kai, is the 12 for our 12th episode? You playing that very nicely.
Oh, that is really good, huh? No, it's because I'm a 12th man. And
We're all
Doran,
12.
you
We're all
son
12
of a seagoing Broncos brony fan.
Bronies.
Andrew, and how do you say that? Omeha?
Well,
Oh my God.
I think we should dive into our first topic of the night. What do you guys think?
I'm game.
As long
all
as
the
this cat
enthusiasm.
is cooperative.
It's the internet. Cats are always welcome.
So what are we starting off with tonight?
Well, the big news, obviously, is that the AMA on Reddit that Smedley did on Friday, what was it, like 3 p.m. Pacific time or something like that? He did the...
Smed was in the American Music Awards?
Yeah, that's what AMA stands for.
Wow,
no,
that's legit.
No.
Did he win?
So,
I think
Some would
he's
say
a
yes.
country kind of guy, country artist. Yeah, so he did the Ask Me Anything. It was right after the announcement of the closures, sunsetting the games, kind of restructuring a little bit. But there's a lot of huge tidbits that came out of that, especially in regards to EQN and stuff.
huge tidbits. For example... Exactly what I was going to say is that somebody asked him what his favorite class was, and he answered back without even, hesitation. It seemed like Bard. Bard is in the game. You can all the bards out there. Bardtail. Hey, guess what? Bard's in the game.
I bet he'll be happy. Yeah, Bard's one of those classes that everyone sort of goes back to. Like, every single MMO I've played, they always discuss, I want to be a Bard. Maybe it's our love for music. Maybe everyone just loves hitting things with a banjo. But I know in Rift, a lot of Bard people, we talked about that a little time with Zoran last episode, and that's cool to see that's confirmed. And to take it a step farther, did you guys see the comment about the music? Maybe it's related to the Bard. I don't know.
Well, I hope it's not exclusively related to the Bard, although the fact that you're probably gonna swap classes.
Wouldn't that
quite
make sense,
easily,
though?
It wouldn't really matter, right?
Flatus a while ago said that he thought some of the 40 classes might be, sort of trade skill classes and stuff like that, not 40 adventure classes. So maybe the Bard is an actual music class. Maybe it's not necessarily an adventure, but maybe that unlocks...
he sits in taverns and plays for money.
Yeah, right. And you can
He plays
like a little cantina.
Like Spirit on his little his harp.
I don't know. Well, okay, I guess we should discuss what the music thing is. Basically, Smed confirmed that you can make your own music, right? That you'll be able to make your own music in Landmark and EverQuest Next. So Lord of the Rings Online, I don't know if y'all have played it that much, but it has its sort of tavern music creator. I believe you go in and you can sort of sheet music, knock out a song, and you can play it with other people on your instruments, right?
Games like Lord of the Rings, Starbound, have a system which basically takes ABC files, which come from the time that I think MIDI was still pretty hot. And you are able to make songs that way. So if SOE is taking that route or go different route, we don't really know. But either way, it would be pretty cool that you can just put your own songs in the game.
I told my friend right away, I said, we're making Crazy Train. It's happening. We're going to solo that thing on the flute.
Are you gonna wait? Are you gonna train the zone and play Crazy Train while you're doing it?
We'll have to call Ornex for that one.
No,
I can play the flute.
He's gonna.
See, there we go.
He's gonna sit on a corner in his made Disney World and play Crazy Train on the flute.
Oh my god, sitting on top of my Epcot ball with the train going around it. Oh lord. But honestly, this is a really cool feature, and I think it really nails back to Smedley, was it 2 years ago now, where he said, we're building the biggest sandbox ever made. This is a feature that we haven't really considered at all, and no one's actually talked about. But I think it's definitely lends to the whole create your own gameplay kind of style. Imagine creating a dungeon in Landmark and being able to add a soundtrack to it. You'll probably be no Jeremy Soule, but I mean, there's people like Andorn and stuff that could craft some amazing stuff and bring in Player Studio. Imagine they could sell it to other players too. You could technically make money off your music if they go that route.
So most disappointing.
That's a very interesting thought, but like, wouldn't that be a little hard when you can actually put real music in game as well?
That's true. Copyright issues, right?
there.
But aren't they gonna have copyright
Making
issues
money
anyways?
off, like... Sorry, say again?
Well, think like people could copy chess and stuff. Didn't Steam have that issue with, it might have been Team Fortress or something? Someone took a model from another game, made it, and sold it, and then eventually they found out it was a copyright issue, and then they took back all his money or something like that. They took it off the store. So, I mean, SOE's going to have to worry about copyright issues anyways. And a song might be easier to create an algorithm or something to see if it is a song versus like an object we make or a building we make.
I guess so, but like with all objects and buildings we make, it goes through a validation process, at least for Player Studio anyway.
That's
Where
true.
for music, you don't really want to, like if you compose a song, you want to play it right there in the tavern, in the roleplay setting, in your group. Like, hey guys, look what I came up with. It's the Narwhal song. Yay!
What's the Narwhal song? Can
You
you
don't know
sing
the
it?
Narwhal song? Okay, hang on, I'll post it in chat.
Oh my gosh.
Is it?
Does anyone know it?
Continue though. Just
Is
continue.
it the narwhal living in the ocean one?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'll play.
Sing it,
I'll play.
Flax.
I'll get on my mount and play Look at My Horse.
There
Okay.
we go. Oh my god. It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
The amount of face palming I do on this show is astounding.
But those are internet classics. Come on.
They are.
That's
I agree.
that's better than most of the music from the 90s.
But you.
Well,
find
you
that
take that back. Whoa! No.
90s where you're from and 90s where we're from are probably very different.
I would say that the 90s music in Europe was better than the 90s music in America.
Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Oh,
we're talking about the
shit.
Ask Me Anything right now. So
Right,
I'm
and
a kitty. I win the internet.
music confirmed. Bard confirmed.
What
What else
was
do we have confirmed?
no alpha date?
No Alpha Day confirmed.
This was a big thing for me. What he said is we will basically not know until hours before, which for me
Or-
implies we will know when we get the email.
Or did he mean that all time can be judged in hours? And that there are literally hours until it begins, just we don't know how many hours there are. Honestly, I agree with Call. No, I agree with Call. I think they might do the whole ninja sort of... Look, they already have all our accounts flagged. Like, anyone who bought the Trailblazer pack or the secondary pack, it's already in their system. All they have to do is send out the email and say, here you go, download the game. And log in and play, right? So I could see that. But when do you guys think it's going to happen while we're on this subject? Do you think it'll happen during the event? Do you think it'll happen earlier?
I don't think it'll happen during the event because that would be people at the event not able to play.
Yeah. That's something I considered as well. Like my first reasoning was last Tuesday because I know SOE either does a lot of stuff either on Tuesday or Thursday, so I was like, okay, it's gonna happen. It's like the 20th. It has to be this Tuesday, and then I was a little bit disappointed. I was like, okay, I was wrong. So now I was like, it's Thursday. Like, okay, then it has to be Thursday. And then a friend of mine decided, like, okay, let's troll Call a little bit. And he sent me a fake alpha email, and like I was streaming at the time, and I was so excited. I was like, okay, tonight will not be a stream, guys. I will
That's
be
harsh.
like doing other stuff. And then, yeah, there might have been a Rick
Nice.
roll video. So
I bet
I'm not
money.
taking any guesses anymore.
Okay, Alpha, after the 31st. That's
But then it wouldn't be January. They wouldn't be keeping their promise.
And it would kind of be like other people, not the Trailblazers, getting to see the game before they did, and I'm not sure they would want to do that.
Okay. Are you guys going out to the event? You too?
we can't.
Can't.
You tend to not being able to make it. Oh, Tobrin's gonna be sad now.
Tobrin knows we're not going to be there.
No.
We're going after. We're going to see. We're going to San Diego for the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The Super Bowl is
You guys
not
got
in.
tickets for the Super Bowl?
No.
No, it's
Oh,
not
God,
in San
I
Diego.
wish.
We're going to see it with family down in San Diego. So we already had plans to be down in San Diego that weekend. It's just because it's just after the holidays, I couldn't manage to get the time off for that Friday. And
He didn't push his button for that.
Yeah, pulling a Tanlin. Drink, everybody.
no, I did that on purpose. That was done on purpose. I didn't want to cut Kylest off because what I was also saying is that if we were to drive to San Diego on Friday, that means that we have a child in school that we would have to take out.
That's fair enough. I was just thinking you guys would probably be really pissed if while you were driving down there, we started playing Alpha. And you were stuck in San Diego without your computers.
Oh, I don't travel without my computer. What are you
Well,
thinking?
I mean, that's not
Bonus points.
I mean, that's just. I'm thinking it'll happen during the week. Like,
So
people are saying Wednesday. Wednesday's an easy answer. I could see it Tuesday or Wednesday. Like, there's no reason for us not to be able to start. They're doing their company playtest. It's obviously got to be working.
here's
We
what
don't.
I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Why would they release alpha before the event? Because then if the alpha's out, who's gonna want to go to meet? I mean, no offense, I would love to meet them again, but who's gonna like? No, you don't understand. It's freaking crack to me. I'm gonna play right now. Oh, I can meet Pentapod. Hi, Penta. Sorry, I gotta play. I mean,
True.
do you
A
know
lot
what
of
I
it does
mean?
have to
Like,
do
if
with
they
meeting them,
release
though,
alpha
Yeah.
before the event, they're gonna have probably like a third of the people, if not half, are just gonna be like, oh, not coming.
Well, you have to think about all your local San Diegoans. I mean, they'll go no matter what, you know.
Would that
There will
really
always
be the
people.
case, though? Like,
Yes.
So,
I mean,
listen, PlanetSide 2 had a beta event that was cutting Higby's hair at a local hair salon. The thing was like, I will cut my hair when we
They
announce
sure
a beta
were.
date. This was just announcing the date. So they had like this big haircut-a-thon, and there had to be like 30 or more people. They live streamed it. It had a huge viewership, and we just watched the devs get their haircuts. You know,
Yeah,
a lot of SOs
People were getting their
personalities.
hair dyed, the color of their faction.
And
they
their
were
faction,
joining.
exactly. And it turned out to be a huge event. And the beta didn't start for like 2 months after. So I don't know. I mean, it's something that's really hard to tell. What bothered me the most is with all the bad news that they came out with, you know, this week, the big announcements, they kind of counteracted it with the news of, oh, hey, look, here's the details on our new subscription plan, right? Why the hell didn't they say, hey, look, Alpha's starting? Why? That's like the easiest thing to do to keep like the eyes off the sort of negative news and be like, hey, Alpha. You know, people would be flipping out right now. I was really shocked a little bit by that decision. Like, what is so interesting about a paid Alpha entrance that we can't know when it starts?
The only answer I can think of to that is that they don't know,
You think so?
okay,
or they're still
no,
waiting.
I think it's a lot more easier than that because, like, I'm gonna take Starbound as an example. They've been saying that the patch is coming for about 2 weeks, and every time they had to like disappoint people and let them down. Like, okay, we need 2 more days for testing, and then they had to come out and say, okay, we found a big issue, so we need to go back and fix that before we actually push the patch launch. So you go further and further, and for some reason the internet seems to take that really badly, even though when people launch stuff too soon or there's something severely breaking, they go, why on earth didn't you see that, and wouldn't you hold it back? I don't mind waiting. Where in fact I think it's the same people that actually do mind waiting. So I think it's probably safer from them from a business standpoint just to not announce it, like we're probably gonna do it next week or something like that, than just say like, well, you'll know when we know. No, you'll know when we're sure. 100% sure.
Yeah, they've said
So
that a
that's-
couple times too on like Twitter and stuff like that. Like, hey guys, it's soon. It will happen this month. We will confirm that, but we don't want to confirm a date yet. And it is alpha. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not an open beta or anything like that. The majority of people who are thinking about playing the game won't be playing the game. But I mean,
you
we'll
also
see.
gotta think. You also got to think the people that probably go out there to go check it out are probably the people that couldn't afford like a Trailblazer pack, or even like that can't afford any of the packs. Like they're they're in their local area that want to check it out still.
Local area, yeah.
I really hope that the people at Sony realize that there's somebody that's actually flying out for this event from Scotland.
Yeah.
Like, please take note that this man is flying from freaking Scotland just because he wants to meet you guys before SOE Live.
That is cool.
Oh my freaking god! It's Tobin Ernwood.
Yeah.
He's on. He's an Into the Portal, isn't he?
Yeah, and he does the community
I thought
segment for us and stuff. Yeah.
You know what? I didn't say that.
Yeah,
out
it's
loud.
Tobrin.
But it's Tobrin. He's gonna be at SOE. So hello.
Yeah,
Tobrin
you
flying out.
can't miss Tobrin. I think
We
they
have
should...
Jaffas on order. Good lady, Pentaprod.
Look,
is
they
a
have
good
Jaffas
lady.
on order. If you've seen, listen, Tobrin's a good guy. Him and I stream together on occasion, so have fun out there, buddy.
No, it should be really cool. They're saying it's like sort of turning out to be a mini SOE Live. George Sin, which I said right for the first time, he posted that picture of the sort of construction that they're building, the pavilion area for this event. So, I mean, it's only a 15-minute play demo that you're going to be getting. So, I mean, if you're going there purposely just to play Landmark, it's probably not the best use of your time. So hopefully the people that do come out are the ones that want to chill with the devs. I mean, SOE Live, I didn't play many games, I'll admit. Like, I checked out the new PlanetSide 2 continent for maybe a minute or so, but the majority of the time I just wanted to chill with the devs. I mean, I don't know if you guys felt the same, but I think the event will go off.
That's why I wanted to go. I wanted to hang out with the devs again.
See? Yeah.
In general, though, like, it's very unwise to go to game conventions in general to play games, because you'll be queuing for a few hours and play a little bit. That's just in general. Like, I usually just go there to socialize. That's much more fun.
Yeah.
Because
So-
it doesn't involve queuing.
When I was at SOE Live, I logged onto their computers to do two things: to check the specifications to see if their computers were better than the one that I built.
Oh my god.
She's hyper competitive that way.
No.
That's awesome, though. What was the second reason?
Because I wanted to see what headset and keyboard they were using.
Yeah. Well,
Didn't
there we
like
go.
their mouse. Their mouse.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, what were they using? It was it Razer?
They were actually razors, and I
Yeah, they
didn't
were
like the
razors.
razors that they were using. But
I'm a
I don't
Logitech
remember what
kinda guy.
ones they-
Usually that stuff is just rented, though.
Yeah, 500. I'm a little jealous.
Should we move
anyways,
on?
So yeah, beta alpha's gonna happen this week. I think so. I think we're safe on that one.
We should. All right. So in the
And we
after
probably
hours,
can't tell people when it starts either.
in the after hours we should do an over under.
Okay, that sounds good.
And
Take some bets.
we'll take some bets. Was there any other points from the AMA worth talking about EverQuest Next? Because I know there was other stuff, but
There's a
EverQuest
huge
Next.
one that we have to announce. That's not probably EQN, but let's talk more about EQN.
PS4 was once again confirmed. That's the only thing I want to quickly do there. It was talked about, but it was kind of now really confirmed. Like, well, it's gonna be a thing. Not really blowing details, but like, there's no saying maybe or like anymore. Like,
And
I think
post-launch,
it's pretty
too.
much really confirmed it.
PC
And
first,
yes,
PS4 later.
Yes.
Oh,
Right.
also a huge point. A lot of people judge the game based on the art style. They're saying, "Oh, how can it be gritty?" If you guys have read the lore, it's really gritty. The lore is very violent, very brutal, bloody as hell. And people were like, sort of judging, and we all have. But Smedley said that until you see the animations and see it in motion, you're not going to be able to really see how gritty it can be. He said the screenshots do not do it justice at all. So they obviously have combat working a bit on their internal servers, maybe have the AI working and stuff like that, but he said the animations are fantastic, and once you see it in motion, you'll really understand how much of an action and brutal game this can be. So that's pretty cool. And yes, I added a lot of words to what Smedley typed. He typed maybe a sentence, but that's the gist of it. So that's cool. That's cool.
So I think that wraps up the AMA segment.
Wait.
Wait.
Unannounced IP. Can we just super quick? He said they're working on an unannounced MMO, and that it's a tribute to Star Wars Galaxy players. They're building all this functionality with EverQuest and stuff. They obviously have a lot of sandbox modules working. They could port the AI and stuff. And it said it's nothing like anything in their titles. So could it be a sci-fi MMO? I know we should probably save this for after hours, but
yeah.
It's gonna be a new IP, and we should probably save it for
yeah.
after hours.
All right, we'll come back. So what's next on the docket?
Well, Landmark, the developer diary, the latest one that came out was about crafting. I hope everybody had a chance to watch it, because it explains a little bit about how crafting is going to work in EverQuest Next Landmark. And I was on Twitter the other day, and I kind of thought that it was a step backwards. But I still think that it's a step backwards, but I'm really interested in seeing how it's going to be. And next, Landmark is probably going to be a very simple crafting because you want people building things.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I saw the video and I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful UI. Holy crap, what the hell have they done to crafting? I was disappointed. It's very simple. It's super simple. It's point and click crafting. And I really hate that they procedurally generate the stats, because Dragon's Prophet does this, and they advertise it as, hey, look, you can make all these different kinds of items, by making one item. But really, it's, am I screwed as a crafter because I have to create 50 of one item just to get, like, a stat bonus a different way? I mean...
It doesn't have to be like that, though. Like...
Yeah.
If you then go into the, relic system, it does kind of look like you can mold and shape your item into a different specific direction, and I agree. It's a little bit not as deep as I hoped it would be, but with the relic system, I do see some options for that to maybe get a little bit more important. I think what we all want is control over the quality that we output. And preferably more than just adding one single item and then now the item will suddenly be super awesome. That's like, yeah, and from my point of view, as someone who views himself as kind of a crafter first, like that's what I really enjoy doing other than PvP. But crafting, I want to have control over the end item. I want to know how to get the end item that I want. And randomness is not my friend. And it's not the friend of the person that I'm making something for if I'm not making it for me. Because, for example, if I'm crafting and I have a chance of a random proc that makes it like from a good quality to a great quality, and I'm crafting it for someone else, not for me, and they give me the materials, I craft it and it upgrades to the great quality. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to keep this great one, I'm going to make it again, and he's going to get the good one. And so randomness, I don't like it. Now, when it comes to making things like 5,000 blocks, which I've done before, because I built a guild hall in Vanguard, I know what type of materials that is. Maybe they can simplify it so that I can press a button and be like, give me my 5,000 blocks.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking the same thing. Playing Terraria and games like that, or Minecraft or something, you're crafting a lot. So in the dev diary, he's like, for Landmark, you're going to be building a lot, and this is what we're thinking. So maybe EQN will be different because you won't be building as much. But they definitely seemed like that. Could you imagine creating all the furniture and stuff over and over and over and over again?
Yeah.
Would you guys agree that you don't want a deep crafting system for furniture? Because it should be easy, and you just, if you're looking for a quick chair, you don't want to like play a mini game for 10 minutes to just end up with a chair and then look like, okay, I need like I have 50 guildies in my guild, I want like a round table, we need like to do that 50 more times.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that in my opinion would get a little bit tedious.
I don't know, man. My chair procced and I got +10 to comfortability over there on my chair. It's so much fluffier now. What are you talking about?
Right.
I want fluffy chairs.
And I totally understand, and I'm kind of at that mixed point, because at the same, I built a guild hall, and then just over the weekend we had an anniversary celebration in Vanguard, and I built a whole bunch of furniture for houses that we were giving away fully furnished, right? And so I had to do like the 8 chests and the 4 chairs.
Oh man.
And so I know about the TDM, but at the same time, like if you if going back to a more complicated system allowed me to make something where I knew exactly what that end result was going to be, I would go for the one where I knew what the end result was going to be, so that when someone gave me a sword, hey, make me a sword, I'm going to be like, I know exactly the sword that I can make you, and here it is.
That's
my biggest complaint too.
I agree with you, and the reason why I agree with you is because in Chad, you just mentioned the game too.
Terraria,
yeah. Since they added the abilities that when you create a weapon, it now procs and gives you like a special, like, it does so much knockback. It has a chance to be good, or like, it sucks because you'll sit there and you're like, oh, I got enough iron just to make a better sword, and then you make your sword and it's like, oh, it's this stupid slow swinging, does 3%. Oh, it's like you hate, like you like now have to go find freaking more iron to make a better, hopefully make a better,
That can be mitigated though. That like. We haven't seen the numbers. That's the biggest thing. Like, random generation is cool. as long as it's a 1 or 2 point difference between it. Like, if it makes drastically different items, that's when you have to worry about it. And we don't really know how relics modify it either. If relics, like, say, hey, you're guaranteed this strength, or you're guaranteed this, like, this area bonus on your pickaxe, then that could make a big difference too.
Can I swing into mountains and like just blow
Can you swing in
holes
mountains
through
and
'em?
knock full mountain? That's what I felt when I was watching that live stream, when it went from that really crappy pickaxe that Domino was using to the really good one. I was like, kick ass, because at first I'm like, this is gonna be the worst game ever, and then after that I was like, demolition derby. But
What
I
did
mean,
you-
relics is a good point to bring up, right? I guess those are
Yeah.
modifiers, right?
Well, and another point, because they were talking about the altars that are going to be out in the world that explorers can
Yeah.
go out and find. And again, this is coming from the crafter point of view. I don't like that, because as I posed the question on Twitter, is that, okay, I have these materials that I can use to make good things. I can wait and find an altar and make better things. I'm not going to do anything, because as a crafter, I know that to get the most value out of my resources, I have to wait for that better chance. And so while all the explorers are running out there looking for these things, what is the crafter doing? I want to make great things. I've got the materials to make great things, but I can't. I don't
They're
want
looking
to.
for altars.
What's that?
I
They're going to be looking for altars.
I will say, as a
I am-
crafter too, that I am totally amazed with the system. On the other hand, I really like the idea of going out, forcing sort of exploration a little bit, because you have to imagine this isn't like your traditional MMO where, as a crafter, you have to maybe travel like 300 years to get to zone to zone to zone to zone to zone and all the loading zones. Like, this is like, oh, I'm out exploring anyways, and then, oh wow, there's this rune, and then maybe I go check it out, and maybe, the items required aren't necessarily like mithril or something. What if I can use just basic dirt, because it's already a special altar that's there for a limited time? So the system could be made to where it really encourages exploration. I was just thinking it could be really cool. Imagine all the players in the area just running to this central point, communicating and talking to get their quick 15 minutes of items in and creating all the cool things that they can create. I really like the system. I was saying
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
if I can pitch in on that, like, I think some games suffer from the point where the crafter is in a certain part of the world, in a city, at a crafting table, running back between the exchange, his bank, and his crafting table. Then there are a few crafters around him. Normally they're busy with their own stuff, and there's not really much social activity going on. What I find really interesting about these altars is, like, first they talk about the notification system, so like people in the area will already be going to the altar, but it's also going to be something, if they're like not super rare, but still something that you're going to have to be looking for. It's going to be a more of a social thing, because like one of your guildies finds an altar and he's like, is anyone looking for an altar? It's there and there. So I think that's a really good thing, especially since it seems like there might even be different altars being different things. So exploration is rewarding, which I think is very important. Is going to be very important for Landmark on its own, since there's a lot to explore apparently. So getting people to move around and walk past other people's buildings and creations, I think is a huge thing of importance to get.
I do understand
people
Tylen's
to-
point of view, though, because then you have
Oh,
to worry
definitely.
about, moderating your resources and when do you want to craft, what do you want to craft.
Yeah, so my issue is like, because as Calber pointed out, as a crafter, I want to have my bank, my crafting table, and the auction house or mail system, whatever, convenient and easily located. And so that I don't have to spend a lot of time running back between those. And so, like, the altar system that people are talking about, well, okay, hey, it might be easy to travel to that altar, but how much of my inventory can I take with me when I go? Because I kind of want to have as much of my inventory, do I have access to my bank there? How big is my inventories? And it's just all of those things that combine to be like, hey, I just rather have it all in one spot. I don't, and then and then again, like I pointed out, if there is no altar up, then I sit and, someone was like, well, why don't you go explore? Well, it was like, hey, I'm a crafter. I want to make good stuff to sell.
You have a good point, but you also have to remember that you could be building in time, because necessarily crafting a weapon isn't the only way you can make money in this game. It's also what you can do with your creative output, like creating a tower and selling that while in the downtime, or the heroic movement system, something that I've been trying to get an interview with Sony for a while, but they haven't really been able to come through on it. I think that's an amazing system. I think that's one of the number one reasons why we're going to want to explore, other than seeing cool things, just because being able to pole vault over things, or somersault through the air and dive and jump. That's really cool. In the crafting video, I think it was, or no, it's in the 10-year video, they showed the chompers again, and the characters jump through it instead of fighting the chompers, and I immediately thought, wow, this could be like an arcadey game almost when you're running around, because what if you're not necessarily fighting monsters, just trying to dodge them and save your lives and stuff like that? They can make some really cool things.
Hey,
Did you play the Guild Wars 2 mini game that they had for a while, where it was like, I guess it wasn't a mini game. There was a bunch of mini games. They had that update where they pushed all that stuff where it was like, oh, jump here and jump that, and a lot of I forget what it was called, the toy chest or something.
The Christmas one where you had to jump onto like.
It was
candy
before
canes.
that. It was like the first
No,
one
the
I had.
Halloween. There was a Halloween jump. We called it
Yeah.
in the game. We just called them jumping
Clock
puzzles.
tower.
And
Oh,
they're
they are.
Well, they
Jumping
had those, and
puzzles.
those were cool. I spent a lot of time doing those. Imagine if the movement was fun on top of it. That could be cool.
I see the movement system as like being able to dodge creatures, especially if they're stronger than you, or they're packs of them.
Yeah, those choppers seem to one-shot people from what we've seen from the videos.
I want to mention this in like after show stuff, but my thought is we haven't really heard if the AI is in Landmark with those creatures yet. We haven't really heard.
Yeah.
That
well,
part.
there's not. I mean, as far as we know, that it's going to be launching pretty bare bone, unless I'm mistaken. Like no combat.
Yeah, we won't have it in alpha for sure.
Only one race, So it's like it's stuff that they can add in later, but I don't expect to see that sort of AI in Landmark at the get-go.
Chompy chomp plants.
Yeah.
But going back,
Feed me, Seymour.
That's a reason to explore, I think, and that's a reason for a crafter to be like, hey, I want to just have some fun, maybe, and not craft or build for a while. Let's just jump around and see what's around. Let's explore. Let's build caves and tunnels. Adventure box. That's what it's called. Call. Why didn't you just say that earlier?
Because I wasn't sure which update you were talking
Well,
about.
that's what I was talking about, the adventure box. But you can make gameplay fun in many different ways, and what we see is moving from a paradigm of maybe a crafter stuck in the guild hall like Call was talking about, or what Tamlin worries about, saving materials, and what if it's just built on fun? What if you get to these relics? I'd like to really see to where maybe crafting doesn't cost anything at the runes. Maybe you just go there and you can just create items right there. You're limited to maybe what you can create, or maybe there's a mini game attached to where you can really create things, but I don't think you should have to worry about hoarding your resource for a public event system. That's my biggest worry. Like, either allow dirt to be created into diamonds, or make an easy way. Maybe your inventory is accessed when you go into these events. You can access everything across all your chests. But I'm with you. I don't think it'll be a good system if you have to worry about, do I want to use these resources now? Do I want to save them up? And so forth. I don't think the game's built around that.
I'm more concerned. I mean, Landmark is Landmark, and it's really the crafting in Next that really has me worried. And since we don't have any, and I am assuming that what we saw in the video is Landmark specific. So I can wait and find out more, but it has the potential to be a little disappointing.
There's something that I'm surprised
Yep.
Kai hasn't talked on. Do you know what I'm going to say, Kai?
No.
So, when they go to show the shirts, they show that you can create many different colored shirts. So a dye color system built into every item you can make. You can make some really cool stuff. Maybe not necessarily it's so much about the stats, but hey, look what I was able to create. And I can create, custom aesthetics for you. Crafting
Full
systems
pink
have
suit of armor.
I don't know a single crafting system that does that in the crafting process, and that could go really
Star Wars
deep.
Galaxies.
Okay, fine.
Star Wars
Star Wars Galaxies did that.
Ask me a question and I'll answer that.
Okay, I don't know of any other one. Is that cool? Can you think of another?
Are you challenging me to?
Minecraft.
I'm challenging you. Yeah.
During the crafting process in Minecraft? Yeah, you
Mine-
add dice.
You have to
Okay,
dye
can I
the
dice?
the
Yeah, it's
fabric
kinda
before
true.
you can turn the fabric into items.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I could see this being really cool though. Like, imagine creating your furniture and being able to change between like the backplate color and the color you're using for your wood, and then changing the color of the actual
You know what?
fabric.
What I thought when I saw that
What?
is, oh no, I'm gonna need to make a full catalog of all the available furniture, how to get it, and in which colors they come again. Because that was the issue I had in Star Wars Galaxies.
Yeah, and,
So
You should see
that's gonna be my project most likely. If SUE doesn't do anything like that, I'm gonna be cataloging that
what's funny
first chance I get.
is I had just started cataloging all the stuff that you could make in Vanguard. I had just started it the day before.
No. Can we not discuss Vanguard right now, please?
Aw. But no, straight up. I actually think this is an amazing design just because you guys are nerding out over figuring out how it works. That's You guys wanted a complicated crafting system, right? You're saying this isn't complicated from face value? Well, you're already thinking about cataloging items based on color. Just imagine with relics and runes and all kinds of stuff that can come up.
Not.
True. I guess it depends on what kind of crafter you are, but I think it could still be deep, even though it's simple. You know, it's simple on the face value, but it has a lot of eccentricities that sort of make it unique and fun. I mean, it's the first iteration we've seen. We haven't been in game or anything.
Which is why I'm trying not to be critical, because I don't know what it's really gonna be like.
Well, and I'm trying not to be critical because it's Landmark, and again, the point of Landmark is to build stuff. So.
Because it's Landmark. I love how we say it like this is just some piddly thing
Aww.
that's not going to be a deal. When Tamlin and I have both agreed that Landmark, in our opinions, is going to be a bigger deal than EQ Next.
It's just Landmark. Well, no, I because it's
just that silly
story-based system that's very heavy reliant on like crafted armor and stuff. That's different than an adventure game where armor probably doesn't even matter that much, you know. I get
that's the huge thing.
from. Yeah. But it's different
He
type
does
of
use,
game, not
oh my
less.
god, spreadsheets.
Oh wow,
So many
spreadsheets, Tamlin.
Guys, keep talking.
Are you seriously gonna bring them up?
I want to point out that this man is not only married, but happily married.
But I was saying, I wanted a complicated system. We all wanted a complicated system, and I think this has the foundation to deliver something that could be very fun, unique, and engaging. Even though you might just be clicking craft, by building, customization features into the items, it could go really deep. Maybe you can actually create pixel art and turn it into voxels and create your own furniture right there or something. Who knows? But it has a lot of possibilities, and I like that. Plus, we wanted crafting info. I was complaining huge last episode, and now we have some. So
yeah, and I was complaining that we never got to see a creature, and then we got to see a creature. I don't even care that it's a plant with teeth, but I got to see something.
What do you guys think of?
Not to say that our maybe Omid was listening, who's like, you know what, Flatus, I'm gonna deliver. I'm gonna give you a plant with teeth.
Yeah, I would like to say really quickly that yes, I am disappointed. I wanted a more complex crafting system because it's exploration and then crafting. And I understand the need to make crafting accessible, because I know that there are probably going to be people playing this game that they didn't have the opportunity to play Vanguard or Galaxies, so they're not really familiar with complex crafting systems. They're used to point and click and stacks at a time, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because that's what I was used to in the beginning too. Something in the middle would be nice.
Well, remember, they're using this as a way to look at what they're going to do for EverQuest Next. So it could always change in the future, and it's something they could change in EverQuest Next if people really don't like the crafting system. They can always say, well, we know
definitely
what we need to do for EverQuest Next, and we can always overhaul the crafting system here. So it's already we don't even have it yet, but it's alpha.
Real quick before we move on, what do you guys think of the woodworking table that we saw and the rune table? I think it's a cool design.
I spend. I mean, it's just a tool. I mean, it's not something I make, so I'm not going to spend very much time paying attention to that sort of thing. That's not the type of gamer I am, really.
It looks so cartoony in a maybe not good way this time. Sorry.
Does it look gnomish?
Yes,
it does. It looks tinkerish.
It looks very gnomish.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I noticed that they're pretty huge.
They are big.
Compared to some other crafting tables, they are incredibly big. And I'm not sure if that's I would find a hard time to put those in my houses, for example.
Keep on going, Call. These guys, just keep on going.
I
But maybe you can resize them.
Did
right,
I make
Call?
a size joke by accident or something?
You did.
Yes.
You totally did.
And then I said that's what the gnome says.
I mean, everything
But
compared to a
everything
gnome is pretty
for
big,
a
though.
gnome.
I, on the other hand, love the style. I love that woodworking table. It's super cool. I love the animation. It's wacky. It's fun. It is large, though. All of them seem large. But they also said it would be placed in the world, didn't they? He said, like, you can find these crafting tables in the world. So maybe you don't necessarily need them on your plot. Or maybe you can't. I don't know. Can you even put them on your plot? They also, in the video, said, real quick, it's important, I think, that you'll be leveling up your crafting tables. Are you still laughing about this? Oh my god. These kids. These kids are out here. I'm the young one.
Listen, we're talking about wooden sizes.
So,
what do you expect?
So we're oh my lord. Crafting tables, you're going to be leveling up your crafting tables. So it's going to be like a Terraria game or like a Minecraft game. You level up the tool, not necessarily you as a crafter. That's a change from old MMOs, you know. Typically EverQuest 2, you level up your woodworking or your alchemy or something. This way you'll be like, oh, let me get a more advanced woodworking table so I can have larger wood to be sized correctly for a call. God damn.
You're doing it on purpose.
I am doing it on purpose. But I think it's a good point. I guess that's it for crafting, right? For now.
Welcome to EverCast, everybody!
So
Didn't we have something about acid cast before the show started, too?
yes.
We were talking about polishing it. Thank you.
So, our next topic, based on the other video that they put out, was on the claim system and how the claim system will work. Somebody else want to jump into this topic and talk about it and explain how we were going to go out and stake our claim in Landmark?
Oh, yeah, so the claim. So underground billing doesn't seem to be a thing as of now. They said they can adjust it based on feedback, but I guess you're going to be selecting... I guess it's a normalized field, so it's 75 by 75, or is it 10 by 10 by 75?
70 by 100.
100.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you
you. So,
can put
You're welcome.
other claims you own around it.
yes,
Yeah,
around
And
it.
you can increase
Fuse them.
it over progression and
Yeah.
paying maintenance to keep it up.
And you'll
Definitely.
see
I think
the
that's all we know, right?
outlines of other people's claims, so you know.
You can see
where
the
you're
outlines
at
of
as well.
people's claims. That's all we know. But it does seem that there's only you can't change the skybox too much, or can you position? Do we know that you can position the selector
height-
up or down,
The height
or
didn't
is it
look
guaranteed
so
that you
high.
get a part of the underground, then you get the majority of the overground? That's what it seems like so far.
That's what
Yeah.
it seemed like. But
Which is
There was some
understandable.
reference. The reference image is posted on Reddit and other forums, comparing it to sizes in Vanguard and such, which seemed pretty accurate to me. I didn't really do the math myself, but when I look at it and I add to that the fact that you cannot really build on the ground and such, my real concern is 99% of the people in Landmark will be building their little house, tavern, small town, something like that, and they will be happy. There's a small portion of, I think, the people that SOE really wants to take advantage of, that want to go out and build huge things, amazing things. Lots of time, lots of effort, but that's what they find rewarding. And if I look at the alpha system, which I'm pretty sure will change quite a bit between now and the many months to come, I see my options are fairly limited as someone who would want to do that. To name an example, I would not right now, be giving this information, I would not be able to build half of the stuff that I have in my head to build. Now, maybe I'm wrong when I get in, but at this point I would be like, yeah, that's all going to be a shame. Either the plot side would be too small, the fact that I wouldn't be able to, for example, build tunnels under volcano, something like that would be severely limiting. So I fully understand why they're doing things, and I don't think the solution is simple, but somehow
it's easy to see
need
why.
to be able to build crazy stuff to have in EQN, because I really don't think they need us to build 1 million small houses, taverns, farms.
Well, think about this.
And towers.
You can modify the ground, so you could build your plot up and make your thing technically still underground. Make
To
a
a
mountain
degree,
and then
yes,
dig into the
yes.
mountain to a degree. And as you add
Yes.
more claims, you can make that mountain bigger or whatnot. I mean, it definitely seems why they're doing it is the fact that you're going to be digging underground. He said it's a
Yeah.
mile deep.
Well,
That's
like,
huge. Like,
like-
you can go a mile down into this ground right now. That's the tier level. That's huge. I don't know.
Imagine it from the other side. You're happily digging on the ground, doing on the ground content, which is like procedurally generated, and suddenly you like pick and like, but there's nothing. Heck, what the hell? Like, there's a wall here.
Exactly. You can't go in.
That is
or-
obviously
yeah.
what they want to prevent. So it's like I said, it's totally understandable, but somehow we need to get around that if they want to give us the true power of building anything we want.
And I would also say that building underground is hard to see. And so in a game that is about seeing other people's creations, that at the beginning they'd want you to build up above ground.
Yeah.
But I'm
That
a
makes sense.
dwarf. I want to build underground.
But and again, from one of the other developer diary videos that they showed, I think one of the other things that's important to point out is that they demonstrated that you can have the ability to put a block in mid-air and it'll be suspended.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool because I know that there's going to be some people out there that are going to be like, okay, well, because it's really easy to pretend if it's up 5 or 6 feet off the ground and you build this huge sky fortress, it's easy to make that 100 feet or 1,000 feet up off the ground.
I know.
Yeah, build up and then build down afterwards. It definitely seems like a possibility. But I understand that people might not want to do that. What if, would you guys be alright if maybe the little selector box can be positioned at like a guaranteed sea level? So maybe if I go to a mountain, then I can dig into the ground a little bit more than if I was at like a sea level bed. Because think of it's 1.5 kilometers deep, right? So there's a guaranteed spot where I can't go any deeper. That allows people to dig underneath, still get all their content, but then it allows me to maybe go into a certain mountainous region and build my sort of Caledem, while people who might be near the beach or near the sea level, instead of up here, are limited to building above ground sort of thing. Do you guys get it a little bit?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I got
think
I got you.
That would make certain claims really useless, though. So I would almost say that, like,
You can have
the
multiple
only way
claims,
to-
though. So you
Yeah,
can
but
build all kinds
you
of things
want-
around the world.
You want every place in the world to effectively be useful for a claim, right? So what you want to have is like you have the zero state of where someone comes onto the claim. You put the claim, and like then it should have a level below and a level above. I say that's the only way to really do it properly.
Yeah.
I disagree,
Because otherwise
actually.
you end up with like portions in the world like I can't really do anything here because I don't have enough room above me, for example.
But I think that makes it
Because
unique.
there's a giant mountain here.
Like
Yeah.
you go to the resources are already allocated that way. So if you have a mountainous area, you'll have access to different resources around you. So that already limits your claim a bit because hey, if I want to build in wood and I go to a volcanic mountain, well, I might have problems there. Maybe I want to build my claim in a wooded forest and then I can build around easier. So I think it's already limited that way. I don't see the point in every claim having to be exactly the same because it's a huge world that wants to encourage exploration. What a better way to
I'm not
encourage
saying
exploration
exactly the
than-
same though.
Well, I know
Go-
what you mean, but like I live in Florida. Flatus and I live in Florida. We can't have a basement in areas. You know, if
Yeah,
we
but,
wanted to have a
like-
Yeah.
basement, let's go to a mountainous area.
It'll
Yeah,
be
but you
it'll be
don't-
full with water.
But you don't want to get into a situation where Flatus can, like, for example, dig a hole in his garden to get a swimming pool, and you can't.
Well, with buckets you could carry water, but I guess hypothetically we can keep going back and forth here with this.
So why don't we move on to the next topic? Because we only have
Yeah, that's good.
5 minutes
Yes.
left.
Move along, move along. Those are the questions you're looking for.
I think we should return to this one day, but all
We-
right.
we can come back
next
to it.
topic, NDA, right?
Yes, and this is Cowboy's topic. The NDA.
Oh, yeah. We have 5 minutes, so I'm gonna just say, like, don't be a dick and break your NDA if you paid money for the game. This was supposed to be a longer speech, but I'm gonna cut that out. So just like we're gonna leave it at that. And then what was on my mind is the way I very narrow-mindedly see it is that SOE might be shooting them in the foot a little bit by having an NDA on alpha when they're actually selling the game. Because I'm pretty sure that like a lot of us could easily sell this game to a lot of our friends just by giving them 10 to 15 to a few hours of gameplay footage.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is, why do you think they do that? Do you just think they want to keep a tighter leash on how information flows, specifically through press, streamers, amateur game reviewers, and stuff like that? Or is there something bigger that I'm not thinking of?
I think that they are afraid that something that is in the alpha will come out, and then it will be negative, hugely negative, and they'll change it to make it positive, but that perception that it's in there, now they have to fight that negative image that's already escaped. And so from their point of view, it's easier just to make sure that negative image doesn't, or that negative impression gets out.
But doesn't that end when people are already paying for it too?
Yeah, but it doesn't pay for the
To a degree?
people who aren't paying, though.
There
It still
are-
really matters.
Right, there's going to be a segment of the population that is going to get a brief exposure to the game, and they're going to form their opinion on it at that moment. And if they decide they don't want to try it, they're going to walk
They won't
away.
have to look at it anymore.
And or they might take 2 years for them to come back, because SOE has been fighting that escaped perception for the last 2 years in order to turn that person who would have been a customer 2 years earlier if that negative perception hadn't escaped. So I can kind of understand it, but again, I don't really have, I mean, I understand it, I just don't have an opinion on whether it's good or bad.
Well, I'm going to be polite in this, as polite as I can. It took me a long time to come back to Sony after Star Wars Galaxies. And now I'm back again. And yeah, I could see seeing something that I consider a game breaking or that I don't really like just because I paid for it doesn't mean I'm not going to badmouth it. If I dislike something strongly enough, that doesn't prevent me from being like, this is bullshit. This is the most broke ass joke I have ever played in my entire life. And the only thing that's going to prevent me from telling my friends, dude, don't get that game. It's so broke. It's so awful, is the NDA. And if they are able to fix it before alpha is over, then that prevents the people that are in alpha, because they've said time and time and time again that alpha is going to be really, really raw, because most people aren't used to playing alphas. There's going to be a lot of stuff in that game that we're not going to know how to deal with. So they're NDAing it to prevent us from going out and being like, oh my God, it's so broke, because it's going to be, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's going to be broke because it's alpha.
I honestly do not think that Landmark will be broke. If you're selling a product, then I think that the point at which we now go into alpha is far and far, far beyond what we would normally call friend and family, which in today's world means pretty damn playable. That's my expectation.
It depends. No, it really
but
depends.
I really do not think that it's gonna be that raw. Because I've seen games crash every single 15 minutes. Areas which were actually still had raw assets and stuff like that, and you don't see that stuff anymore these days, which is a good. Well, I miss it, but it's a good thing for a lot of people. But I think that either way, I don't really care. But I think that SOE wouldn't really put it out if it's gonna be as raw as, say, it was 15 years ago.
Flatus, can you hold your thought and let's take a quick break and we'll come right back to this subject? Everyone cool with that? Because I think this is a good subject.
Yeah. 5-minute break, is that what the norm is?
It's like 3 minutes right now. We do have a community video from Tober, and he cranked one out for us, right? You guys are gonna love it.
It's a video.
Filled with poop.
No. Yeah, it's
Tober's poop from the Jaffa cakes, apparently.
As long as we don't have to clean it up in a game, I'm fine with somebody else talking about it.
Yeah, so
switch over.
Yeah, so
take a quick break.
We're gonna take the video is 3.5 minutes long. We're going to take a 5-minute break. So if there's a little bit of air, it doesn't mean anything other than we will be right back.
Yeah.